Hello and welcome, I'm Tafaragdamu. The Trump administration didn't play it well. I'm talking about the great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam conversation that we had in Washington, D.C. How will the new U.S. administration fit into that whole discourse? My guest today, Sheik Salahadin Wazir, is one of the Americans of Ethiopian origin who have tried to set the record straight on many occasions. A very warm welcome to the program.
I'm so happy to see you virtually again, Tafarra Gadamu. Thank you for inviting me to your show so many times.
Thank you. As I said in the introduction, I'd like to talk about how the United States government, I'm talking about the Trump administration, handled the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam conversation primarily in Washington, D.C. You are one of the Ethiopians I know, of course, of Americans of Ethiopian origin, who really did not like the whole idea. Who didn't like the way your government, the U.S. government, was handling this conversation.
Well, thank you, Dr. Farah and fellow Ethiopian and Ethiopian origins, wherever you are. Greeting of love, greeting of peace, wherever you are from the United States, passing to you all. It is absolutely unacceptable. Ethiopia is a sovereign country, an independent country, mounting thousands of years. So there should be absolutely no dictating term coming from Washington or Beijing or Paris or London or Paris to Ethiopia, forcing Ethiopians to remain silent or follow their all days masters, if you will, to set the pressure. And out loudly, myself and fellow Ethiopian Americans and many, many peace-loving rejected Trump administration's involvement in dictating and publicly, not even privately, it's publicly aired, very sickening, ill policy, ill-advised policy, very discriminatory, very arrogant, very disrespectful to the sovereign country of Ethiopia, and giving that kind of reckless statement by the President of the United States, openly warning Ethiopia, take this notice as serious, otherwise you are going to be bombed by Egypt. Hello, Mr. President. Hello, Mr. President. Are you saying publicly in the White House to a peace-loving country, and you giving a green light to bombard? This is outrageous. This is unacceptable. This is acceptable by any standard.
Right. But before he got to say that thing of bombing, the Egyptians bombing the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, there was lots of arm twisting well ahead before that, wasn't there?
They really crafted this plan very well. That was their dream. That was their diplomatic and political mission throughout the Arab world, throughout their Western friends, to make that happen and dictate that term accordingly. So when the administration now learned and immediately corrective of action to disengage that route, and then that kind of threat is coming, not only was the threat, is coming saying, you know what, we are going to cut the aid. Hello, Mr. President again. Ethiopia is not that broken poor that are relying exclusively in the mercy of the United States. Ethiopia is capable to survive. She survived thousands of years. She's not going to be dying because of your little dollar amount that you are on hold. You need to understand the psyche and the mindset of Ethiopia. Ethiopians people are dignified people, honored people. They rather die with starvation while holding their dignity. They cannot be purchased by dollar and cents. You miscalculated, Mr. President. You do not understand the Ethiopian people. You should seek advice from those who knows. And that's why we vigorously rejected and mobilized throughout the state with all of our friends, senators, governors, mayors, all fellow Americans and lobbied to reject the direction of our government, the United States, in tax dollars money being manipulated, this ill-advised policies toward Ethiopia.
So
Ethiopia and America have enjoyed over hundreds of years of diplomatic relationship. The Ethiopian people also must know this. Do not mix few elite of Trump administration with over 270 somewhat million Americans. American people are very good people, very good-hearted people. I'm an American. I lived in America over 35 somewhat years. I have dealt with all kinds of Americans. They are good people. Don't mix between the American good people and then few elite of Trump administration.
But Ethiopia and Ethiopians felt betrayed primarily by this adventure.
I have to be very bluntly clear. The Egyptian people, as a people, are really very good people again. I visited Egypt. I have seen it. If they have one bread, the Egyptian, they want to share with you half and half.
Right.
That's how good they are, the people. But the Sisi administration, those who are elite, they are doing this for their selfish, narrow view and saying to the Ethiopians, all you have to do with the Blue Nile, sing for the water, don't touch it. It's not going to happen. Ethiopia has a right to utilize it, to use it, to get out of the poverty, to use it for electricity, whatever she needs to. Why you are dictating this? And I said it in Arabic for them in one of the public gathering. And I said, where are you from the saying of the Prophet? Which he said, this water of Blue Nile is a blessed water coming from heaven. How dare you say this water is not going to be enough? It's going to be enough to the whole Africa, not only those eastern. That water, that blessed water originating from heaven, it is enough to feed the whole Africa. What are you talking about? Where you come in this narrow view of saying there's going to be less, where it's going to be enough, our starving. No, we are not saying let our neighbors starving to death. The Prophet said, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ مَاتَ وَجَارُهُ جَيْعًا, meaning the Prophet said, who will not follow the Sunnah, which is the tradition of the Prophet, who knowingly know his neighbor is starving and live in peace. No, we Ethiopian people are also good people. We like to share with the Egyptians, we like to share with the Sudanese, we like to share with the Ugandans what we have. That's what we have been doing for thousands of years. Why you are nervous now when we want to use it for our own use?
Right. So, I mean, I know you and many other Ethiopian Americans in the United States have engaged your senators, your representatives, and across the board to be able to influence American position as far as the GERD is concerned. I understand that although you tried really very hard, you didn't make any difference, did you?
We made a difference. That's why you've seen the letter written to Secretary of State Pompeo to loosen his rhetoric toward Ethiopia. That is the result of the campaign by the Ethiopian Americans. It brought the result of that slowdown. You don't see from the administration as he used to pushing it that toward change. Second of all,
but yes, of course. I mean, of course, yes. I mean, the conversation has now moved to the African Union, right? I mean, as far as fixing this problem, to get the conversation going, definitely. But as far as U.S. policy is concerned, it was really a tough journey for you guys, right?
Democratic country, not few people can dictate whatever. If the president, he want to do as he wished from day one, this country, U.S. and the rest of the world would have been in chaotic situation because there is a check and balance. He has been holding so many times. Sometimes one pen stroke, the judge stop him. In Seattle, in so many words, and throughout so many of his policy. The president cannot, because he is duly the elected president of the country, doesn't mean he can do everything. He's not a dictator. He tried to be, but he stopped, and he will stop. And finally, we've campaigned too. We've campaigned with all of our power. Grassroots movement in Georgia alone, never been happened in history. The Republican Party drastically lost about 14,000 voices. That did not happen over 30 somewhat years.
Right.
So that resulted of a cumulative of the president's ill policy. The American people spoke, including myself. And we said, I in fact said it during the campaign to the president, bye-bye, Mr. President, from the White House. I said it publicly, even though I'm a religious imam, I do not involve in politics, but this is a dignity issue. This is a human right issue. This is moral issue, cannot remain silent.
So,
and I said it. And people here after me, those who were there, thousands of them, they said, bye-bye, President, from the White House. And we did. And we said to him, farewell, Mr. President, live alone Ethiopia for the remaining few days, few weeks you have in the White House until January 19th or 20th in the morning. Just leave Ethiopia alone.
So you think, yeah, now that you are assured that Mr. Trump is leaving and a new administration is coming in, would that make any difference, you think, in the way you are arguing your case as far as supporting the GERD conversation? Because whether we like it or not, the U.S. administration, whichever that administration is, are going to be part of a whole conversation, one way or the other.
First of all, let me also say in two segments. In one hand, there are fellow Americans who are 70 million who are voted for the president. We cannot just disfranchise all those good loving for the country. So as myself and many community leaders and civic and government, we had in our county, DeKalb County, we had a day of healing and rebuilding that broken trust. The election is now over.
So, yeah, but sorry to interrupt you, but when I'm talking, yeah, you got my point. I mean, how different is this government administration going to be? Yeah.
I'm coming to you. Okay. So now I say the election is over. So let's reconcile our differences and whatever vision that you have, we will be, whatever makes sense, we will be equally behind you to advocate with the new administration, Biden administration. Now, Biden administration, we have seen some very promising signal already by including and hearing our voices in our concern. So as he was experienced politician, the Biden administration, we are very grateful and hopeful we will see some positive change. So we cannot also remain silent as we used to, as always say for our Ethiopian people, wherever you are, don't be reactive, be proactive. Reactive is only when there is a problem, you run this. Be engaged throughout the year 724. We are going to engage.
Excuse me, but have you continued to be proactive as far as pushing the GERD agenda?
Yes.
From your side of the world?
Never stop. Because the Grand Renaissance project is not completed yet. Why are we resting? The Grand Renaissance project is not completed yet. Why are we resting? So it is still working in progress. So we want to see that fastly, that project completed. I want to see the day with my children, with member of my community, inshallah, God willing, come to. I like to see it with my children, come there, celebrate the day that is going to be, inshallah, inaugurated. I want to see that happen in my lifetime. That's my dream. And I pray that inshallah is forthcoming. So let's support, let's work together in unity. Unity is much better than disunity. Cooperation is much better than confrontation. Peace is much better than war. Love is much outweighed than hatred. Hatred passing to generation to come. Love passing to generation to come. We have to be the peace-loving injector to an open-minded Egyptian, to an open-minded Israelis, to open-minded American, to open-minded Ethiopian, to open-minded African, to open-minded humanities for that matter. Humanity is in need of love. Humanity is in need of peace. Humanity in need of not only bread. Bread alone is good. Humanity is in need of love. Humanity is in need of peace, not war. Humanity is in need of cooperation, not confrontation. So we have a lot of in common. Our commonality is we all like to live in peace. Animal love to live in peace. Human being like to live in peace. Be the soldier of peace to bring that peace, lasting peace, not temporary peace. We've Ethiopians seen wars. How many times? We have seen poverty. We have seen ethnic clashes. We have seen religious fight. We've talked about it in your show many times. So now we need to get out to our sense, look back and design the future. What kind of future do we want for Ethiopia and the world? Love, peace, respect, distance.
So you said you'd love to come to the, for the inauguration of the GERD in Ethiopia with your children and so on. That's quite a positive note. So what are you doing? What have you continued doing in the United States to help finish this project as quickly as possible?
In our part, whatever is our country of birth is asking.
You're contributing money. I know that. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we are lending them money. We are contributing financially. We are supporting morally. We are advising, technical advice. Wherever is a minefield, the administration and the people of Ethiopia need to be aware. We are advising. Whatever we can do. The good advisor is not only when you're doing good. When you're doing wrong, you need to be advised. So they can get to your sense. So that's what is a good person is what we have to be. But don't be like, puppet or micromanage. You just want to tell what your master or your friend want to know. You tell them the truth, whether you take it or not. And that doesn't mean the door of diplomacy need to be shut down. No, leave it remain open, case by cases, study it in and out, bring subject matter expert, studies in depth from all perspective, say what is in it for Ethiopia today and tomorrow and the future. Whatever affecting future is of Ethiopia, no leader should compromise. No leader should have personal ego, about personal agenda. No, about the country's agenda should come first.
And then
we come and go, but the country is still there.
So, yes. As I can see it from this side, there is quite a degree of unanimity as far as this project is concerned, and you are making headways along that line. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. We are not only lobbying with the U.S. administration, with our fellow Africans. My NGO is AIC, African and Immigrant Communities, composed of many African countries, Nigeria, Cameroon, Kenya, Uganda, Egypt. They're Africans. So we're talking to them to show our side of the story. They get it. So we need to be more active. I will advise also the administration, this publicly, you need to have more good, solid program in Arabic, not only a few minutes of Arabic news. No. You need to have a station, correspondent station in Cairo, in Jeddah, in Dubai, to learn. They are your immediate neighbors, to understand their culture, to understand their politics, to understand their strategy, educate accordingly, unified. Public opinion is matter.
And you also mean to sell the story, right?
Yes. We are doing our part, and the government needs to do more. The embassies, those who are in those countries, they just should not be just limited to attending whatever the country of the law permit. They need to more exchanging visitation. I have consulted with the Egyptian sheikhs, mullahs, Azhar University, big sheikhs. I'm trying to also address to the Ethiopian Higher Islamic Supreme Council, my former colleagues, whoever now in power, I'll try to thought together, brainstorm it to those sheikhs visit. From the Christian part, the Orthodox, they have a good relationship with Coptic of Egypt. If they establish those kind of solid relationship between those church, and then the Muslims with those imams and sheikhs have forged partnership, I think that will produce a solid impact and a better understanding between Egypt and Ethiopia, between Egypt and Sudan, between Sudan and Ethiopia.
Well, on that positive note, I guess we have to end this because our time is up. Well, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts, Sheik Salahadin Wazir. It was great to have you again on my show.
Thank you, Dr. Farah, for inviting me anytime, and I wish nothing but love, peace, prosperity